Humans are born imitating, and human culture evolved by imitating. Neuroanthropologist Merlin Donald says our memetic culture of imitation is the first definitively human stage of development. Non-human primates do learn in social settings, but it's an episodic culture, meaning they pay attention to the result of an action and then figure out the method for achieving that through trial and error rather than duplicating the successful mannerisms they observed. Imitation is humanity's cultural zero point. Long before we developed fancy words like cultural zero or point. According to Girard, human society developed as people copied one another's desires to the point of becoming rivals. If the object of desire is in limited quantity, whether it's territory or a girlfriend, the rivalry to obtain it eventually leads to violence. When the violence spread to a point where society was at risk of collapse, everyone got together and sacrificed a goat. More or less. The Scapegoat Mechanism is the process by which group hostility is transferred onto a single victim, and banishing this victim restores unity to the group. Illusionist James Warren visualizes this phenomenon using a jar, rice, and a knife. Imagine that each grain of rice is an individual person. As their matching desires, jobs, love, and wealth spread like a virus, they get closer and closer until they're packed so tightly that rivalries emerge and friends, families, and neighbors turn into enemies. Violence is inevitable. With society at risk of collapse, someone in the group is perceived as an outsider and is chosen as the party responsible for the chaos. All hostility is turned on the scapegoat, and social order is restored by uniting around the common cause of banishing it from the group, or delivering the ultimate banishment, killing it.
Oh man, if you watch this whole video, family, you smart as hell. Cause listen, this dude be dropping some jewels on his podcast, and I just want to make sure that you catch the message. So stay tuned. For those that want to know, this is an episode of Vsauce 2. And Kevin be dropping some jewels on this. So if you ever have opportunity, stop in, check them out, go on and subscribe, because you're gonna get some nice life lessons. So you know, and you're gonna have to do what we call wisdom mining here at Gye-Nyame Journey. But anyway, he's talking about culture, and the key piece that he comes across is a term called Memetic Culture, a culture of imitating. Now, family, the key piece that we got to understand is that culture is based on imitating, right? We are imitating the adults, we are imitating the so-called wise people, and we are imitating the heroes of that culture, right? Now, most cultures have a hero at the center of it, and we strive to move towards that hero, and our goal in Gye-Nyame is to move beyond the hero. For example, in Gye-Nyame culture, we have the hero called G, right? A story that we put together to help people get an idea of what it means to be a Gye-Nyame person, a Gye-Nyame man. Also, we have experiences in there for Gye-Nyame women, but all that stuff is to come more for you in the future. But anyway, he talks about how cultures are formed by imitating. Please think about that. A lot of us talk about, I'm trying to be myself, I'm trying to be original, but it's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. I have to edit stuff out all the time, you know. But anyway, so cultures are based on imitating, and they call the imitating the cultural zero point, right? This is where all cultures start to form, where groups of individuals start coming together and they start imitating each other and hopefully imitating successful behaviors. Now, but what happens when a culture is captured and contained and destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Or not necessarily destroyed, minimized, and put into a structure where the cultural norms are no longer leading the people towards success. What happens in that situation, right? And the very behaviors that in your cultural context would lead you to success, now in this dominating culture leads you to failure. What happens to this people? Cultures are designed, or cultures are living organisms, and they want to continue to exist. So what starts to happen is that you start seeing people imitating the culture that will enable them to survive. And that's what we got going on in our community. We got people who are trying to hold on to our cultural norms, how we view the world. But the way we view the world is not leading to success in the construct that we are in right now. All right, so let me explain. African people enslaved, brought into America. Culture was not totally destroyed, because if you want to destroy the culture, what you have to do is you have to eliminate all of the elders and just start raising the children yourself. That's too much work. We need individuals that can work now. We don't want to work 15 years for a workforce. We want this workforce here. So since there wasn't a genocide of all of the elders and all those old enough, over let's say about 7, you know what I'm saying? You had pieces of the culture that was hung on to. Now, what happens is that we start imitating behaviors that will bring us success in the dominant culture, or West Asian or white cultures, in their lens, it'll bring us success, but yet it will move us away from who we really are. So now within the person, you have a conflict. Crazy is a crazy issue. It's a crazy concept to even think about, right? But he gives us the word cultural mimetics. We are imitating a culture that is not bringing us success. Right? So what we have to be able to do and be bold enough to do is to look at the context in which we are, look in the time and the context, and look at everything that's going on around us, and start developing from our core a culture that will lead us to success. And that's what we're trying to do in Gye-Nyame. Right? Now check this out. So what do we do with a culture? Because a culture is based on imitation. If what people are imitating is not successful, then you need, in a sense, destroy that and create something, a model where people can move towards success by following that model. We have a lot of unsuccessful models in our current time right now. So we have to be very clear about that, right? And we have to understand that. We have to work around that, and we have to start developing those models. And guess who one of the models are, or is? I don't know, however you say it. Real life here, Gye-Nyame journey. You, right? Are you modeling healthy behaviors for those that are around you? Because whether you know it or not, people are imitating you. They're imitating how you walk. They imitate how you talk. They imitate how you dress. If you're watching this and you watched it all the way through, you are an influencer. And you have a circle of people that you are influencing called your tribe, right? So now let's get to the scapegoat piece. Now, what's important about understanding the scapegoat piece, because you have to go back and watch this whole video, right? Because in the video, he talks about this whole concept of the scapegoat coming out of necessity, because when two people are going for something that's limited, or two groups are going for what is perceived as limited, there's a friction between these individuals, which causes them to, in a sense, have to go to war, right? I'm taking it from the individual piece to the group piece. Now, for us to understand what's going on with us here in Americas, those ADOS, we have to understand, right? Right now, we are in a process right now where we are warring for limited resources, or at least the mind state that we are in. tells us that there are limited resources. So we're trying to win. So how do we do this? First off, we got to set up the models. We got to find the models of success of individuals that look like us, right? That were able to move in this world with integrity, right? We have to be able to find those behaviors and model them. Family, one of the first things that you have to do in your business, in your personal life, is find healthy models that look like you, who come from a cultural framework, that come from the cultural framework that you come from, and be able to integrate what they're doing into your life, right? So now, why am I covering this, right? Because the whole piece is this. I'm noticing people imitating unsuccessful behaviors all the time. Unsuccessful behaviors. They are following unsuccessful models all the time. As a matter of fact, it's cool. As they used to say when I was young, they cool. You know what I'm saying? Or it's hot. But it's an unsuccessful behavior. And we have to be able to identify these unsuccessful behaviors, label them as such, and start building in a different direction. All right? So now, what I do, I'm going through and I'm finding successful models to build Gye-Nyame journey on. Successful cultural models to build Gye-Nyame journey on. And this is what I'm trying to plug other people into, right? Right now, I'm noticing that a lot of my people, I say, look, you need to do a digital book. I mean, it ain't nothing against you doing hardback, but you need to do a digital book. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where things are moving. You need to, a lot of my music artists that's in my family, you need to do digital shit so that you can send stuff to people and you can post stuff for free until you start building up a following. But they are very hesitant and they're very scared, right? And I understand that. But now, let's get off of that. You need to find somebody not sexual. Ooh, Gye-Nyame talk. I ain't even gonna cut that out. But listen. You got to find somebody successful that's coming from your cultural context. And if there is no one successful in what you want to do from your cultural context, then you need to become that. Next, the scapegoat piece. Family, listen, this is very important. This is important on a cultural level, on a tribal level, on a family level, right? As well as on a national level, because this shit is happening all the time. Where in order to alleviate pressure, tension, fear, we need a scapegoat. And we have to be aware of this because you'll start noticing the behaviors and you'll be able to call it out. Is this group really the issue, or is there a lot of pressure building up around me and around us where we need to identify somebody that needs to be sacrificed? This is an ancient software that we had so that we could continue living together, because people, in order to be able to live together all the time, you have to have things that you can do together that would alleviate pressure. And one of the most effective things to help people stay together is to find an issue and blame that issue on one individual and use that individual as an example to everyone else by either pushing them out or totally destroying them. And in some cases, even sacrificing. It relieves the tension for a moment, but it doesn't work in the long run. And we can see this happening with our group. We see this happening all the time. Who in America is the cultural scapegoat? Think about it. That's right. You look like me. You've been a cultural scapegoat for a very long time. And it's time for us to start letting people know that we hip to the game. Right? And start standing up and fighting against that shit. Right? Because no longer can we afford to do this. So, I ain't gonna keep it long, but I would be interested in your thoughts because I just wanted to cover it. But my major piece is to make you aware of some of the stuff and some of the information that's out there, right, that you can use to improve your life. Now, if you want to check out Gye-Nyame Journey, by all means, come and do it. Join the tribe. Go to gnj.media. I say it again, gnj.media, and go ahead and Sign up, family, because our goal is to grow big, right? We want to get big, but we want to make sure that we get big on our own platform. Facebook and all that shit, cool. But family, we need to make sure that we got our fallback. So we want to be able to get in contact with you. So go over to gnj.media, sign up. You know what I'm saying? Second, also for those that want to look at tribe building, right? That you want to, you want to formulate your tribe or you even want to join Gye-Nyame. Go and check us out. Check out our e-course. It's free, gnjecourse.com. That's free, gnjecourse.com. And find out what we're talking about when we saying like today, you see I got on the orange, it's Kuumba Day. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is Kuumba Day, right? You know what I'm saying? What does the beads mean? You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Why do you get up every morning or every day and pour libations and shit? What's going on with that? If you want answers to those questions, you go to free G&J e-course and I'll break it down for you. All right, family, I want to thank you for your time. And hopefully you got something out the video. And find that video and go look at the whole thing. All right, peace. Watch the next video. Watch the next video. Watch the next video. No, I'm just joking, family. Family, thank you for joining us. Be sure to catch us on the next video, family. Peace. Watch the next video. Watch.